Hello, everybody, and welcome to Akuban Nights. How are you guys doing today?
Hello.
Despite the various rumors that Akuban Nights is going to be canceled in favor of Akuban Vice, that is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But maybe one day. Maybe after Akuban Nights, we can do Akuban Vice. I'm so in for it. It's gonna be
If you want to keep Akuban Nights alive, you got to order Neal more pizzas.
I don't just eat pizza. I subsist on real food, too.
All right, buy him pizza and bagels. And...
Ooh, I'll take bagels. Do you have some breakfast burritos? Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Huevos rancheros.
Yeah. If there's a place we can order it from.
Rancheros.
I like them, and I like breakfast burritos. Unfortunately, they're not very common around here.
Rural eggs.
Royal eggs? What's that?
Rural eggs.
Rural.
Oh, okay.
Huevos rancheros.
Royal eggs? That sounds pretty good, though.
But what are they?
Oh, I don't know how to describe them.
They're eggs. But from
And they don't live in the city.
Are they like, I'm an egg. A country.
I am going to link you.
I'm a country egg.
It's usually like eggs on tortillas with some salsa and some other stuff in there. Maybe some beans on the side or whatever.
Scrambled or fried or
fried, usually. It's eggs with like salsa and shit. It's a southwestern thing.
I could go with that.
I'm not a massive egg fan unless they're poached.
Yeah.
Eggs and salsa sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not a big Huevos Rancheros fan, to be honest.
Why is that, Neal?
Because
they have like tortillas, eggs, tomato sauce, beans, rice, avocado, or guac. So it sounds exactly what you just described.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of like
about that.
The salsa ratio. The salsa egg ratio is way off. It's like 2 eggs and then a bucket of salsa, and I'm like, that's more salsa.
Because the ones I had didn't have a bucket of salsa.
Okay. Well,
how about Huevos rancheros with a reasonable amount of salsa?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never had them that way. I've only had them overloaded with salsa, and I couldn't handle it. Anywho, it sounds like everyone's had an amazing week. Fuzzy, you were off doing something hella awesome last week.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, okay. So Failbetter hired me to stream their sort of like to their Steam page for 4 days for the launch of Sunless Skies, which was pretty freaking rad. Especially because I really like Sunless Skies and Failbetter games, so it was just like awesome people asked me to play an awesome game, and I maxed out at just under 3,000 viewers, which was quite nice.
Sweet.
Wow.
And how was the game?
Really good, yeah. It's I can put it. It was, it's come on like a lot since it first came out in early access, and it also got some super good reviews. So that's good.
Is the official Fuzzy review a good review?
Yeah. How can I put it? It was like, I was also like in hideous amounts of pain because I had my wisdom tooth decided to sort of continue coming through over the weekend. Yeah, it wasn't great. So I couldn't move my jaw properly because it was all swollen and things. But apart from that, even with that, I had an absolute whale of a time. It was really, really good. And yeah, the game was great.
Wonderful.
Ooh.
All right, well, let's pick up where we left off then. As I recall, you all are in the forest around Abankai, the Barcarian Forest. Who would name it the Barcarian Forest? What a ridiculous name. And you're
Probably
resting, right? After your escape from Abankai, your escape from the dungeons within, where you've acquired these 2 rings from Duncan Sparksteel's corpse. And fled the undead, and you're resting in your little campsite. When the sun comes out and you guys are waking up, I'm not sure who's taking last watch, but whoever it is, you see approaching your clearing a familiar figure. It's that same wizard that you met in Talishar who handed Sammy an armload of books and told him to bring them back soon.
Zeb Shazar, right?
Zeb Shazar.
Well remembered.
Thank you. One might believe I'm taking notes on.
I think I'm gonna wake Maya.
Oh God, no!
That
Good
was
game,
the reason
guys.
I needed a second longer to think about who I'm gonna wake, but I think the spellcasters might want to recover some spells, so I let them sleep.
Okay.
In that case, Maya's just like, so probably just like, what? Who are you?
Hello, I'm Zeb. Your Highness? He stiffly bows and stays bowed until you speak again.
Hi.
Please, sit down.
How did you find us?
And
Well, my family, the Shazar family, is in charge of regulating magic within the kingdom of Akuba. And as when all spellcasters are born, we took a sample of hair and blood from young Prince Sammy and used it to track his location.
one more reason
So
to
you're telling me that all this time, we've been walking around with what is essentially a beacon shining out, letting our enemies know where we are.
No, Your Highness. The Shazar family holds that information deeply secret. The samples are located far away, and only we know how to work them. And we have not taken any sides in this war yet.
Well, please sit at the fire, and I offer him some of our most delicious stew made of whatever we could find around here.
Okay. He casts a spell, which everyone seems okay with, and a small.
I'm like, what exactly are you casting there? We're a little twitchy. You may understand.
He doesn't interrupt his spell, but a small floating disc about 3 feet across appears, and he sits on it as it hovers in front of the fireplace.
Show off. Right.
What? Why can't you do
Brother,
that? And
wake
why
up.
can't our brother do that? That's,
Your Prince Sammy and I focus on very different things.
Brother,
here.
wake up.
no, let him sleep.
I'm
He
just
said he
kicking
needs to
Sammy.
sleep.
I'm just kicking Sammy.
No. I just I
Sammy
grab
wakes
you by
up.
the shoulders.
What?
Oh,
It's too late.
he
Sammy is
needs to
awoken.
sleep.
So do
What is
I.
the morning?
Yes, it is. So do I need to sleep, brother, but you decided to wake me up. Why is his sleep more important than mine? Hmm?
You just hear soft snoring in the background.
Now,
Whoa, how long has Seb been here?
Did you know he can track you?
and he can conjure a disc where you can sit on and move things with.
Yes,
That
but that's
one I
not
knew.
important. Yes, that's not important. No, but you could be tracked using your hair. They took samples of your hair and things when you were a baby, and they can track you, brother.
Oh.
I promise this will never be.
You are a liability.
I hope I can
In the
clear
name
that
of
up
our-
for you.
In the name of our family, we accept your sacrifice now. Well,
I was, by the way, pointing
Well,
at Sammy, not.
yeah.
Oh, not Seb. Okay.
No.
please. It's nice to meet you again, although we are a bit curious about your intentions.
I am here to help you.
We're just a humble family of former noblemen who try to live a peaceful life in the woods near Abankai.
Of course. Yes. But perhaps you would like to move somewhere a little safer.
Where?
Yatel. You see, the cape here is quickly becoming overrun, and large armies are moving back and forth. The Yatel is fairly peaceful and is currently split on which way to go. The heads of all the families have been kicked out, and the town remains neutral on the border with the elves.
Ooh.
Where is?
It is at the northeastern border.
It's the farthest possible place from you.
Yes. It is near the elven outpost of Thaidenlod.
That's a very long way to go across an awful lot of desert.
Yes, it is. But I have brought at least one tool to help you. And he reaches into a backpack that he has with him and pulls out a bound scroll that's tied with a nice little purple ribbon and hands it over to Sammy. I know you tend to be of the school of conjuration, and but maybe this will be of use to you. This is a divination clairvoyance spell.
Right.
I have, well, my father has, I mean, my family has asked for your pleasure house in Talushar, the mansion you were staying in when the war broke out, and they have given it to us. I'm going to set up I already have set up the young man seems to be stumbling over his words, a small map of Akuba in a closet in there, on which I can place bits of information for you. And if you use this clairvoyance spell to look at that point, I can keep the map somewhat updated for you of what I know where people are and armies are, and leave messages for you if you can head out. I'll leave a light on so you can see it and everything.
Can I try and work out exactly why this young man is being quite so tongue-tied?
Yeah, give me a charisma check here.
I've got a feeling.
Because he put all his stats into and his charisma is probably a whooping -2, so.
He's a spellcaster.
Fuzzy,
Ooh.
you're pretty sure he is tongue-tied because he's had a crush on you for a long time, and he's like trying not to like acknowledge that while he's conducting business.
Of course, it's obvious. Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
He looks up
yeah.
and makes eye contact with you for a moment and immediately looks away, like he bowed very deeply when you first got out of the tent. He's
Super obvious.
clearly
super obvious,
enamored, yeah.
It's only my due, after all.
This is a very gracious offer, but why do we deserve it?
The Harazim family is the one who founded the practice of tracking mages and has been an influential force in our kingdom for a long time, and I feel a certain amount of, he looks at Sammy, looks back at everyone else, connection with you all, and to be honest, you seem like the only reasonable people.
We tried to be for a time, but it seems no one did care if we are reasonable or not.
Neal, can scrolls be used multiple times?
Nope. There's a difference between a magic scroll and a scroll with a spell written on it that you can learn. A magic scroll takes a little bit more effort, and it's not something that you can learn from. It's like a message that holds a pattern of magic in place. So
It's a prepared spell, basically.
yeah, and you can't learn things off of prepared spells, but you can just cast them willy-nilly. This would be like instructions on how to learn this spell, and it's a big long scroll that like stretches from arm to arm,
Okay.
and it's got formulas and complications and all sorts of messes on it.
Okay, so it's a new spell he wants me to learn, basically.
Yeah, he's offering it up to you. It is a 3rd level spell, unfortunately, and
Okay.
You guys are not 5th level yet.
We're 3rd level.
Yeah,
We're
so
still
you're
third level.
Yeah, so it's a little out of your reach right now.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes into your reach, in theory, if what he says is true, You'll be able to clairvoyance in on any location you know. I'm just gonna read the shits to you. A space needs to be cleared, a clean map put down, and a crystal ball placed on top of it, and a previously seen and well-known location held in the mind while the spell is cast. As long as the caster closes their eyes, keeps their hands on the ball, and maintains concentration on the spell, their spirit is projected through the ball to the location in mind. The caster sees as if they were standing on the ground in the place they had in mind. They can look in any direction, but not move. So, and also those watching can see what you see through the ball, as long as your hands aren't completely blocking it. So in theory, you could visit any location you've been to before and know fairly well. So it's limited in use, but it does have an unlimited range.
On the spell list, it says mile per level.
Check spells test.
That is on spells test.
Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance, mile per level.
That's the conjuration version. You want the
That is the
divination
conjuration. Same plane of existence. Yep. Okay.
Yep, same plane of existence.
My bad. All right.
That's fine.
Can I ask you some questions?
Of course, I am here to serve the rightful heirs.
What happened in the council chambers when the council broke up? How did this happen?
I myself was not there, but I've heard through the grapevine there was almost unanimous agreement that you're to remove the old king's family. A few of the smaller houses were shoved in that direction, and we felt that if we did not go along, that we would be targeted as well. And then the question of succession came up, and the Shazarans, and the Gildarans both expected to rule, and it didn't work. Arguments developed, tempers flew, and, well, war broke out the next day.
Seb, do you know where your family stands on the issues? Would they approve of you coming here?
I think so. Maybe not. The Shazar family has decided to stay out of all of this. It's generally of our opinion that, how do you say, war's bad, and
It is.
magic. If we get involved, it would just get worse. The forces of destruction we wield would be too powerful and could cause serious and lasting damage. So we are going to try and stay out as much as possible.
Like cracking an
Keep
egg
the
with a
peace.
sledgehammer.
She gets it. She understands.
I've seen what Sammy's done occasionally.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming here and possibly risking yourself trying to find us. You weren't followed at all, I'm assuming.
Not unless they can track the unseen.
Ah.
Just out of curiosity, you aren't able to cast any healing spells, are you?
I just stick my head out of the tent and I squint.
Maya,
I'm quite badly injured still.
that's the power of the gods, not the...
Just checking,
No,
brother.
that's the power of Martha, I say as I step out of the tent and raise myself up to my full posture.
Great. Can you heal me then? Can you heal this yet? It really hurt.
We've only been there for one day, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like the next
Yeah, and you've
morning.
been taking what, like a 9 HP wound or something? What did you take?
7. My highest one is 7.
Yeah, no.
Right. So, excuse me if I don't just, just checking.
He looks back at Sammy. Do feel free to keep those books I lent you, as long
I
as
still
needed.
have them, yes. They've been very useful so far. In fact, without them, I fear we may not have achieved some of our goals that we've been out facing. I think it's only right we share the information that we have gotten since we fled Talashar. We have made somewhat of a pact between the barbarians, and they have allowed us into their family, so to speak.
I'm sorry, do go on.
In doing so, we're hoping to unite the people of Akuba and take back the land that way. The barbarians are Akubans, just as the people that live in the cities, just as the goblins that trade by the sea. And the barbarians have shown us to their crypt of what was it called?
Brutana.
Is there a reason why we're discussing all this right now?
Yes. Seb is the main reason that we haven't been captured so far. Without his help, we would still be in Talashar, locked in chains. He risked his life, and for that, I can at least give him at least my trust.
He bows deeply to you out of respect, and then gets up. Unless there is anything further, I should go soon before my presence is noted.
Yes, I was just wondering if perhaps you had any information. There was a horn in Brutana's crypt, a magical horn, but I don't know the tale too much to know how it would work. Perhaps your studies led you to it instead.
He shakes his head. I don't know. I could look into it, but the best place to find that information would also be Yatel.
Very well. Why? What would be there that would help us?
The head of my family has a home there, and while we have been politely asked to leave, we haven't truly left. And he has a large library that might be able to help. Yes.
Difficult to track spellcasters without having spellcasters yourself.
Yes. Invisibility, too, is a wonderful tool for hiding in plain sight.
One I wish I knew how to do.
You'll make it there one day, Prince Sammy. Do take care on the way. The Roshirian grasslands are dangerous. Not a lot of cover and many soldiers moving around. Try and stay away from the Sinduin forest. Ogres lurk there, quite dangerous. And good luck on the Quasarian steppes. I'm sure the 5 of you, he says, seeing Yasi behind you, will...
6 of us.
6 of you? Oh, a newcomer. I didn't see her. Yes, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Before you leave, could you tell us what's the situation in the war for Akuba?
He unfurls a small map and pulls out some little wooden boards from a pocket and starts placing them on the map. Go ahead and take a look at the map.
Oh dear.
So, he says, pointing to Sandashar, the few ships that they've managed to hold on to, combined with the artillery, catapults and ballistae, whatnot, have broken the siege of Sandashar. and their soldiers and siege weapons and fleets are moving towards Abankai down the road, so be careful. What are they called? The Gildaran family is holding Aldir, Talushar, and Pike's Point captive with naval blockades. Abankai as well. And they currently hold Unyaka, Syro, and Zakot. He says, pointing to this place up here, and this other place up here. At least on the ground, the Shazaran family controls Sandashar, Abankai, and Talushar, while the Abudad family holds Aldir and Pike's Point. Yatel remaining sort of a neutral area. And the alliances that have formed thus are the Gildarans, backed by the Stone Songs and the Tezrohan. The Shazaran, backed by the Spark Steel. I'll give you some notes on this so you don't have to remember it all. And the
I have that
Abudad,
already written down, I think.
backed by the Baldin and Questari. Whereas the Amari, Zazaran, and Orin families are not really doing anything, along with ours.
How much of the war has reached the other nations?
None.
And how much shit do they think we are?
I know not what other countries think of us.
I don't think word travels too quickly through the desert, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. We might try to get a ship from Abankai to Unyaka. Unyaka?
Unyaka.
There was last time there was a blockade in the Abankai harbor that didn't let you. Like, is there still a fleet? Like, is it still blocked?
Yes.
Because last time you couldn't get through.
Yes, it is
It
still
was entirely
blocked.
shut down.
Oddly enough, I think our safest travel is by land.
He nods along with you.
Well, land
Is
it
there a
is.
route you would suggest for us to take?
Go around Unyaka. Go
Right.
head north of them, over the hills and across the steppes. I don't think you could find a boat that would take you across the Ohiran Sound.
How did you get here, Seb?
As I said, the Shazarans haven't taken a side. Talushar and Abankai are both under naval blockade. I simply asked to visit the blockade for magical research purposes, and then a trick or two to get off of a ship onto land nearby was a simple enough matter.
See,
I'm sure I'll be in some hot water over this, but I think I can take care of myself.
Yep.
I will have to walk back, though. But that's my problem and not yours.
Well, thank you for the information. I didn't think that we would have any supporters left, or that anyone would still have anything reasonable to say at this time.
There are those who still support you, although it is unpopular.
So who else does support us then?
I don't mean... I didn't mean to imply that large power blocks did, just a few people here and there. Some of the commoners, a few members of each house from side to side.
You said
people
some
that are-
houses
that are
were
doing this
intimidated,
stuff.
right? Some houses were intimidated into voting a certain way. Which houses were there?
Amari, Zazarin, and Oron, those in charge of livestock farming and scholarly matters.
Those
Their
are
work.
in the interest of war.
They have nothing to gain by warfare.
Poor halflings. They've always been so supporting of our society.
They're good folk.
They are.
Well, I should be off before something. He gets up, snaps his fingers, the little disc disappears, and unless
I'm gonna say Zeb, and I extend my 2 hands towards him.
he reaches out and takes your hands in his.
Right. So I take his hands and I like put them against my forehead, right? And I say, Martha, please bless this young man's travels. Make sure he finds his way back home safe. Keep him and his family safe, because we thank him for all he has done for us so far. He's a true defender of life, and he's not afraid to stand against those who try to kill others. Please support him and please watch over him. And I let go of his hands.
He keeps his eyes closed for a little while, makes some eye contact with you with a very subtle nod, and quietly takes his leave.
Safe travels.
Right.
Well,
Seb's right. If these are all the controlling nations, Ital would be the most safe to stay. But we may want to finish some of our business here.
I look around in the forest. I hear the birds chirping in the background. I'm like... like, looking for mushrooms.
Well, there are still other crypts. Well, sorry for bringing it up, but there are still other crypts around. And
Oh, look. I don't think I could take another one, brother. I really don't. I am
That's
done
okay.
with dungeon. Crawling through dungeons, it's stupid. Who would do such a thing?
yes. Dungeons and Dragons. The worst thing you can encounter.
Okay, let's
From
not
now
talk about
on-
the dragon, alright?
We're just gonna play and dragons from now on. What do you want to
Isn't there a
do?
blue dragon in the Red Desert, though?
No, there's a blue dragon in the mountain range on the eastern side of the Red Desert. There are
eastern
rumors
side
of
of the Red
a wingless brown-colored dragon in the Red Desert, but first off, dragons have wings, and there's no brown dragons. But there's like long been legends of some sort of dragon-like thing that has no wings that lives in the Red Desert.
Well, what are the chances of us encountering that? Barely million to one
Flat
chance.
zero. Never gonna happen.
That's fine.
As long as we don't go looking for kobolds, we're gonna be perfectly fine.
Fine, guys. I
So,
would never.
Possibly go.
it seems like we trust Zeb.
I certainly do.
I think he's sweet on me.
Yeah, he has a special look for you.
Oh, it happens. Anyway, so, yes. Probably the sooner we leave, the better. Do you not think?
Did he say something about the Muhamda forest and the Shade Coast?
You said to avoid the Sinduin forest.
I know, the ogres.
Yes.
And the grasslands we should avoid.
So, you guys would know a few things about the native creatures of this area. The Shade Coast is home to a group of orcs. Unlike the goblins in the south, these assholes are not friendly. They're terrible people. Period. The Roshirian grasslands are home to small pockets of gnolls who live underground and come out and cause trouble and disappear again. But they're usually not too problematic. mostly raiding small things here and there. Cinderwood Forest has ogres. You got hobgoblins and kobolds and stuff that live up here in the Drakian Hills, along with the occasional ogre and the occasional troll and the occasional basilisk.
I have this feeling that the gnolls will suffer a major loss in their amount of species being on this planet. So I think that we shouldn't kill any gnolls and just avoid them. Just like an act of protection so they don't die out.
Endangered Species Act on the gnolls.
Endangered species, yeah.
Yeah.
Heading north up the coast, skirting around the forest, and then...
Yes.
All right.
Trying not
maybe
to go
take-
into the forest too much, but staying as close enough to be able to hide in it
Yes.
if we encounter larger troops.
Yes, just skirting the outskirts, as it were.
Yes, but there's one thing I want to bring up because it bothers me in the war a bit. What are we going to do if we encounter a troop of soldiers
Brother,
that are not Shazaran and have been captured? Are we gonna let them be captured and suffer from the war? Or are we going to try to free them?
are you mad?
No, it's a solid question.
Captured...
If we wouldn't have gone into the tomb, we could have helped the soldiers that were captured, but we decided for our own greed and interest to go forth into the tomb.
So instead
I'm
you
just
want to break
asking
a bunch of
myself-
soldiers out in the middle of a city surrounded by enemy troops?
Not in the city. I mean, when traveling.
Right, so if when travelling, maybe if we think we've got a chance, but I mean, we'll take it as it comes, yes, brother? Let's not make any hard and fast plans here. Also, I have a plan for travelling. We should try and get hold
I
of
just
a car.
wanted to think. I wanted to know how you feel about it. That's all.
It's a terrible idea, but obviously you're so noble and you have to free the soldiers, so that's I'm assuming I'll be able to stop you.
Maybe
yes.
I just have to repent for enough things that I've done that I want to do some good things.
Oh, get
sometimes.
over yourself, brother, really. Oh, I must repent. Oh, it's awful. Right, anyway, brother, I have a plan. We should get a cart. You are the most noticeable of all of us, brother. Would you agree?
I'm the most handsome.
You're also the heir to the throne, and your face is the most known, yes? So,
As I said, I'm the most handsome. They want to print me on a coin.
ahead. Right, yes, so we should get hold of a cart anyway. We could use it as a disguise. We could be refugees fleeing the stuff, the war.
The stuff.
It's in general a
Right.
good idea, but what will how do we stop the soldiers from looking into the cart, trying to tax us or rob us from everything they need to
Easy,
keep their army going?
easy, right? We sort of like pile a bunch of sort of random shite on the cart. You can hide under it if soldiers come. And then we're just a bunch of, hapless refugees. It's a good plan.
Yes, the cart might not be the worst idea.
Yes. If
So,
we look like refugees, they're less likely to think we're, us.
But how do we afford the cart? Are you going to sell some of your jewels?
Afford. Oh, no, we still want.
We what?
Commandeer.
I'd rather buy one in a small village than steal one.
The only problem with us buying one is that people may remember us buying one. If we steal it under
don't
cover of night,
think-
nobody will know where it's gone or who has it. It's safer.
Then we need to find the right people who are willing to trade with us without reporting us. Maybe some good folks that think that the war is bad and don't think anything bad about the Harazim.
Or we could just steal one.
How much does a cart usually cost, Neal?
Someone asking the real questions.
Between 5 and 10 copper, I'd imagine.
The bull.
We shouldn't start robbing the ones that suffer the most from the war.
Oh, fine.
An open wagon usually goes for about 5,000 copper.
What's that in gold?
50.
50.
Now, just like, that's a wagon. If you just want like a two-wheeled cart, it's usually 2,000 copper or 20 gold.
Well, we'd also need something to pull the cart on top of that, so you would need like...
You'd need
Not
the livestock
necessarily.
to pull it.
Or we could do the traditional peasant thing and just be pulling it ourselves.
Well, you could try to pull Bud. Good luck with that.
Yeah, who's gonna pull the cart while he's in it?
Oh,
just
just
like
one
Sarah
elderly
hauling
donkey.
the
Come on
cart.
now. Yeah. But yeah, just one elderly donkey or something.
So listen, we need to rest up anyways. Right? Like, we're not getting around that. We might
That's a
try...
good point as well. If we have
We
a
might
car.
try to get undercover, and we can try to work for that card in the time where we're trying to, like, rest up in some way or another.
Yes. What was I going to say? Yes. Also, if we have a card, we can rest and move at the same time. Those injured.
Good.
Does
True.
that seem like a plan to anybody else? Yes.
I just think off-road
Yes.
is the safest way to travel. With
Sometimes
the,
it's best to hide in plain sight, brother.
I have just the spell for it.
I think if we stay away from guarded areas, we should be fine. We find, like, I don't know, a farm, like a plantation, a big farm, or a caravan maybe that we can accompany, something like that. I think that should be fine.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
if we find
somewhere
out
where there's the mixed bag of people, where nobody asks questions anyways, you know.
Yes, indeed. If there's any refugees traveling, we should definitely tag along with them.
I can always do my little trick if there are any people inspecting our
Yeah.
stuff.
You could literally join a circus group if we would find one, like a troupe. Do some tricks. You never know what you might encounter.
Good. So our plan is to rest a couple of days, find a village, buy a cart, some oxen or horses, whatever is available, and maybe get some new clothes as well to better hide our nobility. I mean, we're wearing the finest of clothes, I must admit. Well, I am.
Yeah, I probably still have my peasant outfit disguise on because, you know, it just seems safer at this point.
Yeah. So are you guys gonna rest for a few days here in the woods by yourselves?
It would make sense to move. Can we move? No, we need to rest fully, right?
I mean,
don't
yeah,
have to
you
rest
need
through the day.
rest. You can walk as long as you're not like, what do you call it? Stressing your body.
We probably want to get further away from Abankai since, you know, the
Yeah.
previous day.
Yeah,
kind of
because
robbed
some
them.
shit just kicked off there, and you know.
So if you're able to travel at a slow pace, just not to be too stressed through
Yeah.
the travel away from Abankai, that would be great. And then just rest at a good location that we can hide in
All
a
right.
bit.
So you guys make your way at the Bakarian Forest with no encounters.
Neal, do I recover mana on the first night of sleep?
Yes. Right? Sure. I don't remember.
Because you changed it, remember?
Yes.
So I'm not 100% on it. I don't know if those are reflected in the document.
Let me check the D&D 2.N Google Doc, which is available to the public.
Yes. I mean, I don't have quality sleep because we're outside. But I have full good sleep.
If you had full good sleep, then you get your willpower back in MP.
Rolled willpower or flat?
Rolled willpower.
Yep. Okay.
Oh yeah. Flat willpower. That'd be so good. All right, let's see what you get, Sammy. Oh,
right.
beautiful. More than
I got
half.
some spells.
Do. Perfect. All right. So off you go along this. Are you going along the road, or are you kind of cutting through the countryside? Road is going to be faster, but that's where like armies would be walking.
Could you
Across the road to the other
could
side.
you point us to the next
Chicken.
village?
There are fucking
to the
villages
north.
everywhere. Yeah, they're just scattered
then-
throughout the plains.
Yeah, we're trying to get north to a village
Sure.
near the main road, maybe.
Yeah. You walk along, maybe near the road, but not too close to the road. And as you progress, you see this two-story building made out of wood with nice columns and a little porch that wraps around it. And there's some wagons parked outside with some horses. There's a well out there, and additionally, maybe like a little barn out back. Just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, maybe a half mile from the road and maybe a mile and a half from a nearby village.
Is this a known spot?
You've never seen it. You don't spend a lot of time with the small people.
Is this a gnome spot?
Known spot.
It's the
damn
new
it,
goat spot, guys. Head to gnomespot.com for all of your gnome needs.
So these carts, are they unattended?
They are currently unattended, yes. You notice that there are two, like, just sort of carts that peasants might use to haul food or supplies back and forth. And then there's one, like, carriage that has a pair of horses tied up nearby. Like, maybe not the nicest carriage, but, like, it's a covered carriage with curtains and everything.
Too conspicuous.
Does this place belong to any... Do we see any sigils or like a statue? Does this place belong to any family or...
Nope, no statues, no sigils, just this, like, two-story building and a barn with a bunch of stuff around it and a well. Sort of out, away from everything else.
Is this the mimic Neal was talking about?
Is the house gonna eat us?
It comes, yeah, and it's what we need right now, and it just turns into a house. No,
I do
Check
like
it out.
Stardust.
Look at-
That's one of my favorite movies. I've actually played that plot before.
okay. I look at Maya and say, well, should take a look. Find out what the place is. I've never been here.
Indeed. You should probably let me go in ahead on my own, brother.
Yes, I start to rummage through my things, and I hand you... Oh boy, what do I pick? It's just, I start to rummage through my things. Pick a color, sister. Blue, green, dark green, purple, yellow, golden, orange, or dark blue.
Golden.
Golden, okay. And I put out some clothes in golden colors.
Brother, why are you handing me clothes?
To sell them. You see, they're very well made with golden inlays and worth like 100 gold pieces. We're not
would be so
we're not going to
conspicuous?
steal a cart.
It's a simple trade. They're
Yes.
unless they absolutely require this, then
You think it's
My
not
name isn't on it.
suspicious at all if somebody comes to your doorstep and is like, I found these clothes. Would you like to exchange these for a cart?
Exactly.
I would close my door. That's all I know.
What about having a conversation first and then offering these clothes? These
What happened
garments
to having a
trade?
conversation?
Great. I just wanted to give her. Well, I'm sorry to have rushed it. Put them back
Okay.
in.
I know you have the best intentions.
All right, Maya. it's time.
Right. Okay. So, hang on a second. So probably the first thing I will do then is I will sneak up to the house and just try and sort of like I'll just try and scout the place out first of all.
Okay.
Just just observe the house from a distance, see if I can see anybody moving around. If it's all quiet, I'll sneak up closer and sort of like listen at the doors, peeping at the windows stealthily as anything.
Yeah, you can hear the inside. There's music and talking going on. Through a window that you can see as you're approaching, you notice there's a bar with a barman in like a tuxedo making very nice drinks and handing them out to well-dressed customers. And you get a glimpse of some of the probably people who work there, which seem to be decently dressed courtesans of many kinds.
In that case, right, so you said there were 2 horses tied up. Are there any other kind of mounts or?
Yeah, there are some other animals, some donkeys and an ox that are tied up near the stables.
In that case, what I will probably do is beckon Bud over, untie a donkey, hand it off to him, and I'll grab the donkey and I'll be like, Bud, grab that cart over there.
Who did you buy it from? Who did you buy it from?
I'll leave them some money, but let's go now, quickly.
No.
Fine, I tie the donkey up. All right then, Bud. Fine. So, right. I'm gonna sort of look through the window again and just be like, right. So these look like. What kind of people do these look like?
They look like your, how would you say, like middle-class people from towns and villages, and like maybe the lower class of nobility, like not the 13 major families, but the other like random nobles that are about. So this would be
It's like a hipster party.
Oh God, the bloody middle classes, right?
Yeah, it's that sort of like not high class, not middle class, that sort of like gray area in between where they maybe the merchants and the lower nobles can sort of
Yeah, the
mend.
wannabes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sister, this is great. I see nice-looking women in there who might be
brother,
interested in
no.
silk and clothes.
Okay, I thought you were going to
And
say
easily
something else.
traded.
I tell you what, why don't we use money instead? That might be a better idea.
You do have money?
Of course I have money. Hang on, let me
Do
just
you
find out.
remember when I traded my belt for the house and no one offered a coin? Did you have money then as well?
Well, I don't. Did you
Well,
ask if
I
anybody had any money?
I put my clothes back again, so the cart is on you. Great, sister, thank you. 100 gold pieces for a house for a day.
You didn't ask, brother. Right.
I'm already leaving.
Okay, I was just like, go there. Right. So I'm just going to sort of sit and formulate a plan. Okay. So I'm going to sort of like quickly run back and get changed into sort of some slightly nicer clothes. Not peasant clothes, but sort of like something to suit the middle classes. But, you know.
I don't know if you have any middle class clothing, right? You're an upper class lady with fine tastes. Do you have anything appropriate for a middle class party?
I'll just remove some of my bling.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So fine silks, but you know, sort of like I'm removing most of the bling, and stashing it in sort of like stashing it in my bag or whatever.
Your fanny pack. I got it.
Kind of. Yes, and then I'll sort of make myself look like artfully disarranged, like sort of like, oh no, this has been awful. Oh dear. I mean, I am quite wounded, so I'm not genuinely quite messed up, but
Yeah,
and then
you're
I
walking.
will. Yes.
Yeah,
And
a little
then,
pain here.
Yeah, and then I will walk into the bar and just sort of stagger my way in and just be like, oh, and sort of like make my way to the bar, looking as pathetic as I possibly can.
The bartender is a young man, maybe early 20s, with a square jaw, short cropped hair, black bow tie, white vest, black suit over it. He's got a couple of rings on, well manicured fingernails, and the moment you sit down, he starts shaking up some sort of drink in front of you, gives you a polite nod of the head, and then, without a word, just places the beverage before you.
I will just be like, oh, I have needed this. Oh my god. Oh, bloody wars, I tell you.
Tell me about it, ma'am.
Oh. There I was. In the mansion with Mummy and Daddy, and all these armed men just came bursting in. Honestly, it's awful. Barely got out alive.
What a travesty. Can't believe what the world's come to.
Indeed, indeed. Tell me, you don't know anybody who's, willing to part with one of their little runarounds, do you?
Oh, I believe many people are willing to part with their material possessions.
Yes? Oh, handy. Yes.
Did you walk all the way here?
Indeed I did, yes. We camped in the woods nearby, but, yes, my uncle has hurt
In
his
the
leg, you see.
woods. How a lady of your stature should never be relegated to walking or camping out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's just... Oh, yes, but, stop laughing, you put me off.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Right, where am I? Melodrama.
good.
Yeah. Yes, it's my uncle. He's hurt his leg, and I'm worried that he won't get much further if I don't. Do you think you could find somebody who would sell me one of their little carts or something? Oh,
He
Let's get to Grandmama's
thinks
house.
for a moment and polishes out a glass and gives you the hold on one moment sign and walks over to what you presume must be the madam of the place, who is sitting sort of on like a slightly... Oh yeah, it's definitely a brothel. On a slightly raised platform, kind of watching everything, and chats with her for a moment. You can see him gesturing towards you, and she comes on over, the slow, elegant walk, and leans gently against the bar and says, I hear you're out a bit and would
yes.
need a hand getting somewhere.
That would be most wonderful. Yes.
Well, I have a favor I could call in on your behalf, but nothing in life is free, and good things don't come cheaply.
I have managed to. I managed to grab a few things on my way out. I believe I could. I believe I could repay whoever would do.
Well, hold the... Where are you going first?
Oh, Grandmama lives to the north. In
Unyaka?
Yes, indeed.
Well, then maybe we could...
She has a little summer home there. It's quite marvelous. Oh, I miss her.
How about I lend you one of our wagons, and you take the trip to Unyaka, and when you get there, you make a small detour and drop the wagon off with an associate of mine.
Oh,
And we'll call it Square.
that would be most gracious of you. Yes, that's terribly kind.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Oh, you you're so kind. I'm just going to give her a hug and she'll be like, such a dear, thank you so much.
She squeezes back and says, well, as long as you're here, and if you have the... as long as you're here, would you like to browse our wares? She says, kind of making a hand gesture to a little alcove where there's these, like, satin, what are they called, sedan chairs with a whole bunch of, like, young men leaning against them in, like, leopard print loincloths, kind of lounging, looking around.
Oh, no, I can't. I'm betrothed. I'm sorry.
Many
yes,
a betrothed
I'm-
man has come in here.
I know, but it's different when you're a woman.
Tell
They
me about it.
expect evidence. You know what I mean? It's quite inconvenient, but thank you so much for your generous offer. I do very much appreciate it.
They don't have to. There are many things that could be done. Company for
I'm
an
aware.
evening is.
I'm aware.
Are you though?
Besides,
If you. Do you really know what you're missing out on? She says. If you're betrothed and haven't yet sampled the variety of life.
I mean, the girls at private school talked, of course. I've got a fair. I really couldn't though. Besides, Uncle will be expecting me. He was complaining about his leg and saying
It just
about-
seems to me that a woman coming into an establishment like this looking for a ride, walking out without one is a bit of a surprise.
Oh my god.
No, I'm terribly sorry. I can't. I would. I'll be too long, and then Uncle would ask questions, and I'm just such a terrible liar. I just blush at the drop of a hat, and he'd know, and then it'd get back to my fiance, and oh god, the drama. I can't. I'm sorry.
She makes like a waving gesture, and the bartender comes over with another drink for you, and she arranges everything. And a few minutes later, you can leave the tavern with a set of keys to the wagon. I guess you don't really need like keys to the.
It's got a wheel lock kind of thing.
It's got a breathalyzer on it. You have to make sure it's, you can blow below a certain level.
No, the donkey's got a lock.
Like turn its ear a few times and pull the tail really quickly. Let's go, donkey.
The donkey is the donkey's like, no! Then,
All right. Excellent. You head on out. A wagon is brought before you. It's a four-wheeled wagon. It's not covered, though. But in the back, there are some crates underneath some tarps. Inconspicuous, ordinary crates.
Uh-huh. I wonder what's in those crates.
Why don't we go to our first break, and when we come back from our first break, we will definitely not do anything illegal, and we'll just walk along the road, and it's going to be fun.
What are we smuggling?
See you guys on the other side of the break.
What have we acquired?